And away we go. What's going on, guys? I'm going to just give it a minute or two. Would like to do a little bit of a sound check now that I got my new equipment in here. So if you guys could chime in, let me know if I sound okay, if I don't sound okay, or if you can even hear me at all. I would appreciate it. Just as I'm letting people roll in. Miguel says I sound good. Okay, awesome. Awesome. HM, yeah, fine. Oh man, yeah, I know. I know that everybody knows how passionate I am about my Baltimore Ravens and Baltimore sports and just the city of Baltimore. I love the town I'm from. And really, if we want to get technical, I'm not from Baltimore, but I'm outside of Baltimore. It's close enough. But huge Ravens fan. Have been ever since day one. And it was a tough loss, but what's encouraging, I think, and we'll get into Stock Watch Sunday in just a second, but you kind of caught me off guard a little bit. But, what I can take away from this is that Lamar Jackson's 23 years old. He's played literally a season and a half, and what he's been able to accomplish in just a season and a half as a starter is pretty incredible. So, we get to keep all of our offensive players next year. We have $40 million in the market cap next year as well. So, I'm not worried. I'm super pumped. Actually, let me take these headphones off. I'm super pumped for what's to come for the Baltimore Ravens and the organization as a whole. I love John Harbaugh. I love the whole organization. If we can keep our offensive and defensive coordinator, which is going to be a tall task to do, I think we'll be just fine. So, tough loss. Hey, is what it is. But you know what? Only one team out of all 32 actually win the Super Bowl. So, proud of my team, proud of the boys in purple, and is what it is. It was a great season. I mean, Lamar Jackson's the MVP for crying out loud. So, get a haircut. Yeah. But with that being said, now that enough people have rolled in here, let me welcome all of you. So, welcome. Good to see you guys. This is Stock Watch Sunday. If you've never been here before, basically what I do is I go over the stocks that I'm watching and ones that you may want to take a look at yourself to maybe consider trading. I'll explain my strategy that I'll be taking going on into the week. And what I end up doing here is, if you're not familiar with this channel, first of all, give me a good old thumbs up. I would appreciate it. And subscribe if you want to see more content like this as it relates to just the overall stock market, finance, whatever you want to call it. But this is Own the Chaos. Now, the reason I named this channel Own the Chaos was because I felt as if the stock market was crazy and chaotic. And if you're not somebody who's, ever really traded in the stock market, I made it my mission to kind of help you own that chaos. So that's where the name came from. And it actually really started in penny stocks. So what I do on Stock Watch Sunday is that I go over some of the penny stocks. I'm true to my roots. I'm not going to ever leave the penny stocks, the OTC, if you will. I'm always going to talk about those. But I've also evolved this channel a little bit. It was a struggle there for a little while growing. And I think a lot of that was just because a little bit too niche into my area of expertise. And so I decided to broaden my horizons a little bit. And so now we talk about just about everything. So part of this live stream is going to be about penny stocks so that I can stay true to you guys. And for the OGs that have been following me for all this time, definitely going to continue to do that. And then for your newer folks who maybe also be interested in, larger cap stocks, we'll talk about those as well. So 5 of them that I'm watching this week. And then if you guys want to share your own thoughts, or you want me to take a look at any particular ticker in general and kind of get my breakdown of it, I'd be happy to do that. The only thing that I ask is there's seems to be this thing where people just like to throw tickers out with just a ticker symbol and expect me to do all the work, which, I really don't mind doing that. But at the same time, I'd rather have some perspective. Why do you see value in that? Give me some in-depth detail as to why you think the particular stock that you're watching is worth, taking a look at. So if you help me, I will help you, and that will be all there is to that. So that being said, let me welcome some folks into the mentorship. I was going to talk about mentorship. Welcome people into a Stock Watch Sunday. What's up, Alan? By the way, Alan, I hope all's well with your family, buddy. I know that you're having a tough time there, so hope things are well. What's up, Miguel? Good to see you, man. MN Silver, Blade Runner. Happy to have you guys here. What's up, Shark? Good to see you, Bob. Super delayed. Oh, you have 2 live streams. Yeah, that'll help. What's up, Joe Kaz? J Kaz. Rural Dad still awake somehow. Basement flooded. What's up? What's up, Jeff? Andrew says Killer Mike. Yeah. So I've actually, obviously upgraded my stuff here. And so, and I actually have a brand new soundboard as well, which I'm super pumped for. I'm getting used to it. So, I have sound bites here. If we start to get, creative, we can do that. If somebody has a winning trade, we can just, be happy for them and give them a round of applause or whatever, If somebody has a good dad joke, we can give them a good old rim shot. How about that? So anyways, I think it's pretty cool. So if you guys have any ideas of how I can use this new soundboard that I have as far as sound bites or sound clips, I'd be all ears for that. Please let me know in the chat, or if you're watching this at a later time, let me know in the comments below as well. There really needs to be Stockwatch Sunday. Yeah, I'm all about that ice cream too. We're in Tesla 500 by Wednesday. Actually, Tesla is on my list to watch this week, so we'll talk about that. Finally made it to one of these. What's up, but as a Ryu buddy? Well, I'll just call you buddy. How about that? Sounds good. Very cool. Yeah. All right. Everybody likes it. So yeah. I'm still kind of getting used to the mic too, because it's like right in my face, and it's not something that I used to. But I'm not a radio DJ, right? But I'm getting there. We're getting there. We actually do have. So that's a very good point, Matthew. And this soundboard that I have actually has the capability of Bluetooth and connecting to my phone. So if you guys like the idea of maybe calling in, I would be happy to do that. We'll do a dry run here or there. I think just to experiment, but I think it'd be awesome if you guys called it. If I had you guys calling in and like talking about, whatever stock it is, I think it would just add another element of engagement, right? You guys get to actually talk to me during a live stream on Stockwatch Sunday. I think it'd be really cool. And I would love to be able to connect with you guys on that level too. I think it'd be really fun. So, guest appearances of other traders. Yeah, that'd be amazing. So I think it'd be really, really cool. So, yeah. Don't worry, I do have those ideas floating around in my head, and the more that I get involved into this new area of technology and I quit bumping into my microphone, it's just going to get better. And so anyways, Facebook call. Yeah. So anyways, awesome. So good to see you guys. So let's get started. So I'm going to go ahead and switch my screen over as per the usual. And bring you guys over to the first penny stocks that I'm watching. So if you guys, again, are here for the first time, I have this structured in a way of just going over the penny stocks that I'm watching first, the ones that I see value in, and then I'll move on over to the bigger board stocks so that you can kind of gauge as to what you want to tune into or tune out of, or if you want to stick around for both, that's cool with me too. But first one that I'm going to bring over to you, again, is at WeTradeHQ.com. This is a platform that I built with my partner, Jake, to help you be a better trader. If you want to learn how to trade stocks, you want to learn about investing, this is the platform for you. It's absolutely free to join. You can check out your favorite tickers here and do all kinds of due diligence on them with our integrated trading view charts. But also we have education material as well. That comes at a price, but it's not, nothing that's going to break the bank. If you're interested in taking part or learning from an experienced mentor that day trades for a living, does this for a full-time job, we have those available to you as well. But having said all that, ABCE is going to be the first penny stock that we're watching this week. And this is, a repeat of Stockwatch Sunday from last week. So when I talked to you guys about this previously, last Stockwatch Sunday, it's gone up well over 200% since then. Okay, just to put that in perspective. So if you're visiting for the first time, Stockwatch Sunday, and you're a little bit skeptical, this is the reality here. So ABCE has done very well. It's done extremely well, actually, and it's had a nice, healthy pullback. So if we're looking at this on the 30-minute chart, this chart looks incredible. You saw this nice cup and handle formation and then a really great pop and a little bit of a pullback. And so what I'm looking for here is the potential for this to continue off of this pullback. And I think that it will. And the reason for that being is because if you look at the news that came out on this back in December, they're looking to close on an acquisition. And I think that, the closer we get to that closing date, the better off ABCE will do. So again, that's ABCE. What I also like about this is that the share structure is still pretty nice. It's a pretty sweet setup for being at 003 right now. This share structure is fantastic. They're not diluting right now. And the only concern for me is that if they start to pick up dilution again, that could spell trouble for ABCE. But leading into the week and leading into the end of the month, I think that ABCE is going to have a heck of a month leading into, and you can see this here. I pull this up as the December 31st is when they went through, their audits, and then they're going to acquire this HVAC company, which they plan to close on January 31st. So you guys can go check this out. If you've never been to OTC markets and you're interested in trading penny stocks, get yourself familiar with it. But OTC markets is the place to go whenever you're doing any of your basic due diligence. This is my first stop. Anybody wants to trade OTC penny stocks, make this your first stop. Get familiar with OTC markets. I do have videos on OTC markets from a while ago. I really probably should revisit it and kind of get a fresh video out on how to navigate through OTC markets. But it's actually pretty self-explanatory and pretty easy. You just search your ticker here that you're interested in, and it's almost like a Facebook profile for your favorite ticker. It gives you the breakdown of everything. So the next thing I usually go to is the share structure. Looking at the share structure here, it's very, very good for this price point. And I think that given the catalysts that are coming on ABCE, we should continue to see a nice little run. So if you didn't get in on the first run, the fortunate thing for you is that you have an opportunity and a chance to do so. So it came back all the way down to 003 that it closed at on Friday. And I think this continues. So if you are looking for a continuation here, look for a break above maybe 0036. It seems to be the area of resistance for this one. Or maybe even right here at 003. It seems to be kind of settling down here very nicely. I like it right here. Looks pretty good. If you can get in anywhere between 003 and I would say 0027, 0026, somewhere around there, it's falling into that channel very nicely. And if we go to a 5-minute chart, you can see that even more clear, that it's a pretty good support resistance here for this stock. And so when you're looking for a continuation, look for it to break above 003 and then another break, up over 0036. So that is ABCE. That's the one that I'll be watching this week and looking to, get into this one, see where it goes. So I see that a couple of you guys are asking about tickers. HM, I like where your head's at, man. See where HM did. VBIV, take a look, please, and gives me why he would like me to take a look. That's what I love to see. If you guys are interested in me looking at a particular stock, that's what I like to see. Those are the ones that I'm going to see. And basically go over and take priority over those over anyone else's. Next one's going to be CTYX. Now, this is one that I told you guys before that CTYX was a little bit of a dark horse, a little bit of a wild card, if you will. If you go and look at it on OTC markets, it's a little bit hairy here because they've been dark and they're defunct, but they just came off the gray sheets. And there's some rumors flying around that perhaps there's a merger going through here. And again, all that is right now is a rumor, but stocks run on rumors all the time. And I think that's why this ran before. And this is on the 5-minute chart. If you can see this, it ran all the way up this past week, 2 weeks ago, rather, up over a penny. And we called this out on Stockwatch Sunday. This is another proof in the pudding thing, guys. To call this out Stockwatch Sunday, well under 005, and then went up over a penny. So this went up well over 100%, 120, 130% since we talked about it on Stockwatch Sunday, and now it's kind of bled itself back down somewhat. Not really understanding why there was such a huge sell-off here, other than the fact maybe people are just either bored or they don't think that there's actually a merger in play here, which could all be valid reasons as to why there would be a sell-off. But I still think that there's value here, and so I'm looking to maybe see where the chart may bottom. This could very well be it at 0022, 0023, a bottom support here. So be looking for a bounce on CTYX and then waiting for that confirmation as to whether or not there will be a reverse merger on CTYX. If anybody has any insight on additional insight on CTYX, I'd be happy to hear from you. You want to leave some comments below if you're watching this later, or yeah, Alan, exactly. Buy the rumor, sell the news sometimes, and that's all. That's what you kind of have to ride sometimes when you're dealing with OTC penny stocks. They're down here at this price, and they're on the OTC because lots of times they're just garbage stocks. But you can make a lot of money off of rumors and seeing where this might go. The potential for potential. Yeah, sorry. How many times am I going to say potential? Can we count them? It should be a game. You want to take a shot every time I say potential. Or we'll see where it goes. I say that a lot. But anyways, I think that if we can see a nice bounce from this bottom on the chart on CTYX, I think it'll make a nice move. The share structure is still very good. So if we go to OTC markets, and this is the float's a little outdated, but if we just go by these numbers here that were recently updated, I think that share structure is very, very good for this price point. Very similar to ABCE. And if volume starts coming back in on this thing, if it starts to turn out that those rumors are in fact true, that there is a reverse merger happening with this stock, then we could see a really, really nice move. So CTYX, ABCE are my top two OTC penny stocks that I'll be watching this week for a continuation and a bounce on this one as well. All right, let me check in with you guys. See how you're all doing. Alan will watch it again. No doubt, man. No doubt. Okay. All right. So those are my OTC penny stocks. On to bigger boards. AMD is another one that I think is one worth watching. Now, AMD is probably is quickly becoming one of my favorite stocks to trade from a day trading perspective. I really like the fact that it just becomes pretty predictable. Except for right now, I'm curious as to where this actually ends up. And this is why I have it on watch, not necessarily, a buy and hold kind of thing. But, when you're looking at this chart right now, and this is on the 30-minute chart, you can see that it's had a hard time getting above $50. $50 has been the area in which it's just been an impenetrable force. So looking at 50, that's the resistance. That's the ultimate resistance. If it breaks 50, it's off to the races. Forget about it. It should run incredibly if you're looking at it from just a support and resistance standpoint. And I think that once it breaks that, it should be on like Donkey Kong, baby. But what I'm concerned about is that this had a pretty decent sell-off end of day Friday, and really Thursday and Friday it sold off pretty well. And so what I'm looking for here is that it's actually got a pretty solid support at $48 even. I would say is a pretty good support for it. So if it breaks that, then it might spell trouble for AMD, and it may be even longer before we see a push over $50. So I'm not going to just go in on this thing until I see how it reacts. Once the market opens tomorrow and see where it ends up. But one of two things could happen. It could bounce off of this support and head straight to $50 and beyond, or it's going to break the support and probably come back down to $47. So $47 seems to be that area where it likes that support there. And again, this is on 30-minute chart. So I like $47 for support if it ends up breaking this. So I'm going to be really patient with AMD. In no way, shape, or form am I looking to short this at all. Looking to go long on AMD. And I think that it'll eventually pay off. Just to be patient for that long setup. And if it comes back down here and bounces off of 47, I think that I think it'll be good. I think it'll be good. A good long play. So AMD, there you have it there. Now, we talked about this one before as well. Talked about several supports and resistances. And I talked about AMD going from, when we talked about this last Stock Watch Sunday, it was right around here, I believe, went from 47 almost to $50. So really nice move out of that from last Sunday. So just waiting for another really nice move on AMD, and I think we'll see it this week. All right. So that is AMD. I remember $40 being the market analysis saying AMD would have trouble breaking. Yeah, right. AMD, I think, is going to be a really strong stock in 2020, especially if the rest of the market ends up doing well. Colton, I think it's going to do extremely well, especially if it ends up breaking up over $50. Blade Runner threw a couple AMD articles up in the Discord chat. Yeah, so Blade Runner is actually in my mentorship. So if you guys are interested in checking out the mentorship, I'll throw the link on the chat here. Or if my WeTrade HQ admin can do that, that would be awesome. All right, so next one's going to be BYND. So BYND, so this is another nice thing about WeTrade HQ. So I had this pulled up because it's not just a chart that you get to look at on WeTrade HQ for free. You can do anything you want as it relates to your favorite stock. So as you can see, I just clicked over to the overview tab where I'm going to talk to you about this chart and why I like this chart. But if you want to check out what people are saying about it, there's people talking about it here. Again, this is all free. You can check out the financials. The financials is really great as well, as long as I can get this to pull up. Yep, there we go. This is really useful tool as well, the financials. I mean, it breaks it all the way down to how many employees BYND has. It's pretty incredible. So anyways, looking at the news here, Beyond Meat's on track for its best week since July. Reason for this being is because they are getting into pork. Now, up to this point, BYND has really kind of just been dealing with the meat side of things, as far as like beef, hamburgers, that sort of thing. Any of the beef-based products that are actually, plant-based products. But that's kind of been their focus. And so they're starting to break into pork. And so that's why BYND has been moving as well as it has. The other reason that it's been moving well is because if you guys recall, I made one of my best trades ever in 2019 on BYND, shorting it. I shorted the piss out of this thing because it was all the way up to over $200. It was like $250 a share. And it was an easy short because of the way that it moved up. So if we go back and visit the daily chart, I talked about how much I hated this stock at this price point. And the reason for that being is this was before they had their offering. So they had the IPO, and then they had an offering of millions and millions of shares, and then it just started to dump off. And so that's when I took advantage of that and ended up shorting this and made a ton of money off of BYND. But now I think the selling is done. As you can see here, this is the daily chart. You can see that this has come down and bottomed out quite nicely. Just from a technical analysis standpoint, it's just looked really good. It's settled down, never really went below $73, $72, that range, and then started to really pick up once they came out with that announcement. And as you can see, when they came out with that announcement, there hasn't been any selling. Zero, zilch. So, I mean, they had one small red day, but it really wasn't anything. So if we go back to the 30-minute chart, and I'll break out the 5-minute chart too, because I really like the 5-minute a little bit better, actually, to represent and show this channel here. And I can move this up a little bit, and I'll move it back once I bring up the 5-minute chart. But you can see that it's developing a really nice channel. He had a strong move up over the last several days, all last week, since they announced that at news. And it's settling out here. It's creating a nice little channel. So what I'm looking for on BYND is a move up over $100. That's going to be like a mental resistance. And I talk about this a lot in my mentorship, but mental resistances are a real thing. So if you look at whole numbers, such as $100 or $50 or $10, those are kind of mental resistances that you might not even see on a chart, but it just kind of plays with people's minds. So you'll see how that this got incredibly close to breaking $100, but it just couldn't quite do it because you saw a lot of people just selling it right at that $100 mark because they didn't want to be the ones that, ended up with a bag if it ended up, selling off. It was kind of like last one out the rotten egg kind of thing. So you see how it just really struggled to break up over 100, but I think $100 is going to be that mental resistance that it's going to have to get over. So what I'm looking for is a nice move over that. And if we come back down to the 5-minute chart, you can see that this channel even better. So really nice channel of consolidation here. And more importantly, like I said, moving up over that $100 is the first hump. What the second hump is for me, if this thing breaks $110, it should make it a really, really nice move. And why I say that is because if you come back here to the daily chart, you can see that $110 is right here where this candle wick is. And I'll zoom in here a little bit more so you guys can see that. But you can see this candle wick back here on June where it went all the way up to $110, got rejected, then gapped up. Well, it breaks up over $110. We should see a nice continuation to try and close that gap to at least $118, maybe $120, $125, somewhere around there. So that's what I'm looking for on BYND. I think that if this can hold its support, and we'll come back to the 5-minute here. If this can hold its support here, and we'll call that support around $95. If it can hold its support around $95 and then break above that $100 mark, we should see a really nice move out of BYND. And I think that this is definitely one to consider to continue watching this week based off of that. So if you're looking to trade this thing, look for a bounce off of $95, which looked like it did towards the end of the day on Friday, and then a break above $100. If it breaks above $100, it should make a nice continuation. But if it still just hangs around in this channel, I'm good with that too. I think that if it can just hold the support, we should see a nice strong move. If it doesn't, then we'll probably see it come back down to perhaps maybe around $90 and then probably fizzle out, come back down to 87 where it's kind of been living for a while. So, you know, I just, like I said, I think this is one is well worth watching, and we'll just kind of see how this plays out. But if they end up coming out with more catalysts, I think BYND makes a nice move. I don't know if I would hold on to it forever, but I think that if you're looking to make a nice, decent intraday trade out of it, that would be the situations in which I would be playing BYND. Again, going long on it. And I mean, shoot, if it ends up breaking 95 and can't seem to come back up above it, I might even end up shorting it. Just because, you know, for old time's sake. But anyways, man boo me. Yeah, right. Fake pork. Yeah. I mean, people like it apparently. You know, them millennials. You know, Phil, so he says the gap back in June has been filled. It hasn't been filled since, I mean, maybe I'm missing it, but I don't see it. I mean, this is back here. Yeah, I guess you can say that it's been filled back here, back in October, perhaps. But I still think that it'll end up making a nice strong move, nevertheless, if it gets up over $100. Maybe that's me wishful thinking, but good observation. Thanks for catching me on that. That's what I need you guys here for. Keeping me in check, but nice observation. So anyways, moving on. Yeah, I think I would agree with that too, Roll. That'd be interesting to see what quarter 4 earnings on BYND. So be on the lookout for that too. But yeah, don't be afraid to call me out. Sometimes I overlook things, so it is what it is. I don't ever pretend to be perfect, Phil. So thanks for keeping me in check, man. But yeah, if it goes above the current gap, yeah, should make a nice move. All right, moving on to Tesla. So Tesla is another one that we've been trading. Gosh, you guys know that I've been loving the hell out of Tesla. I've been putting out a lot of videos on as to why I love it as an investment, why I love it as a day trading, vessel as well. And so looking through this, it's had a healthy pullback. I would have loved to see this move up over $500. And we talked about that mental resistance with BYND, right? Well, $500 is going to be that for Tesla. If it moves up over Tesla, just like we saw it move up over $400 and it never looked back, I think we'll see the same thing with Tesla. But it came up to $499 and some change, and then got rejected twice, almost 3 times. And we look at it on the 30-minute chart, you can see that. And if we go to the 5-minute, I actually didn't take a look at the 5-minute chart before going live today. It was just a double top there. So you can see it double topped and then ended up getting rejected. Came back down to 472, which was a pretty solid support there. Came back down, bounced off 472 again, and now it's just kind of settling out in this little channel here on the 5-minute. I really liked the 30-minute because I think it painted a better picture as the channel that it's in right now. But you can see 43 was a support, ended up breaking this. And if we can pull up VWAP here, let's pull up the VWAP indicator. If you guys didn't catch that VWAP indicator video that I put out on Friday, be sure to check that out. And so right now it's just below VWAP. And so that is another resistance here that it could potentially have, a time with getting over. So looking forward to break up over that VWAP line, 479, and then again at 483. We'll see if it ends up continuing to move there. But I really like the support level at 472. If it breaks 472 by some chance, it might be quite a tumble all the way down to perhaps even 451, as crazy as that sounds. But Tesla has been rocking. And here's my thing with Tesla too, okay? We have earnings coming out on Tesla next month in February. And so everybody is on the hype train with Tesla right now, and rightfully so, because their last quarterly earnings report, they were profitable for the first time. But I think right now the reason it's moving is because they were profitable. But I'm wondering, and this might be a little bit of a shot in the dark, if the price point that it's at right now, especially if it breaks above 500, I'm a little concerned here, because I think that this price point is starting to bake into what people think the earnings are going to be in February. And while I still think they will be profitable, I'm just a little bit concerned, a little bit hesitant on, whether or not those earnings will reflect the price point that it will be at in February. So if it's up over 500, I would probably be really concerned about that going into earnings, because I think they might just be a little bit overhyped. So be on the lookout for that. Sometimes when you see movements like this, they end up, overbaking themselves into that price point. So if the earnings, meet expectations or exceed expectations, this thing could go off to who knows where. 600. I thought $600 was a nice, target, estimation by the end of 2020. And boy, it went up $100 in the first week of January. So, maybe it keeps on going, but just be cognizant of the fact that if they have good earnings, but maybe they're not as good as everybody was anticipating them to be, this might have a little bit of a pullback in it if it ends up breaking up over $500 and beyond. So just be cognizant of that. I'm not saying that it will be, but as long as you have that in the back of your head and you're prepared for it, then I've done my job. So just be on the lookout for that. I still like Tesla for a long play. The one thing that I always tell my mentorship folks, the one thing that I tell everybody in my community, my YouTube community, is just the first rule when trading Tesla is just don't short Tesla. Okay. The second you do, you'll probably end up regretting it. I'm going to be having a video coming out soon about, how a lot of the short interest has just really jumped off of a cliff. I think anybody who was shorting this previously and stuck in with their shorts probably are feeling some way right now about Tesla. But if we go back to the chart here and look at this, you can see, like I said, 472 looks to be a nice little area of support. And if it can break back up over 43, this should make a nice move again to try and attempt to break that $500 level. Okay. So those are your top 5 stocks that I am watching this week for Stock Watch Sunday. Now to the fun part. Let me get into what it is that you guys are watching, and we can kind of comment on that as well. I see that Blade Runner says BYND is going to have another short day. That's what I'm waiting for. And I would tend to agree with you. I think before that happens, I think that maybe it has another move up. We'll see. Tesla financials come out January 29th. Yeah, I thought it was like early February. So thanks for clearing that up. Anyone looking to flip in Tesla, thing's been a ripper. Yeah, no kidding. Tesla not going over 500, someone says. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. And so let me come back up to HM, who gave me the first ticker to take a look at. VBIV, I believe that is that a OTC or maybe just a penny stock? Let's see. Yeah, I think it's just a NASDAQ penny stock. So VBIV, so just to kind of recap here what HM was, why he was looking at, looking for a 6-month breakout. Huge volume came in the last 2 hours Friday. Third phase vaccine drug meets endpoints. Rumor on buyout and 50% institutional. Good balance sheet. Cash in hand. Okay. So all those sound good. Also consider that it is a penny stock, but boy, do I love this chart. Man, I just went to the 5-minute chart. If you guys don't know what a cup and handle chart looks like, this is it. This is a textbook cup and handle. So if we come here, and see that on the 5-minute chart, this is what he was talking about on Friday, where it kind of sold off, had a nice little move up towards the end of the day, broke that resistance, and then settled back out here in this channel, and you can see that here. So this is the line here that I drew is just going up over that resistance, breaking above that, and settling back down in a nice area of consolidation. So lots of times when this happens, you'll see a breakout either one way or the other. So what I would look for here is another break above, maybe 166, 170. I would say probably 170 is the safer bet. So if we mark this here at 170 HM, I think you could be on to something. So look out for this. A nice little breakout on VBIV. I think that it makes a nice move, you know, if it can break above 170. But that's going to be the key area. For me personally, when I'm looking at NASDAQ penny stocks in particular, I really prefer, and this is just my own preference, this is just my own style of trading these types of stocks. I prefer confirmations of breaking above previous highs for a continuation. I don't like buying below. Once a stock has moved like this, especially in penny stocks, it's crazy as it sounds, you know, because everybody always tells you, well, you want to be able to buy low and sell high. That's the name of the game. That's the way that you make money, and that is absolutely true. But what if you don't make the entry here? What if you don't get in low? What if I didn't get in at 139? What's the next best place to get into? And it would be a break above the previous high, because more times than not, you're going to see a continuation above that previous high. That means that there's going to be enough momentum, and obviously volume and a lot of other things have to be in play here, but making that break above that high is really going to be key for it. So look for a break above 170 HM, and I think that you might have a nice little day with VBIV. But as always, manage your risk. Have a plan going into it. If it doesn't go your way, make sure that you're not taking too big of a loss. Keep those losses tight, big guy, and I think you'll be in good shape. So great first one to bring up. I like that one. Let me come back down here. Yeah, no problem, man. Shark says, let's see some thumbs up, and I agree. Let's see some thumbs up here. Right, what else we got? MDMP has oil in those wells. Video on OTC. Yeah, but how much oil do they have in there? So we talked about MDMP. I mean, they have to have a considerable amount before it. I would actually, but we can take a look at MDMP. MDMP, this is an OTC stock, guys, for those of you who are into the OTCs. So pulling this up on the chart here. And I'll pull this up on OTC markets as well. You know, and this is gaining a lot of traction because of everything that's going on in the Middle East. Oil is way up in general. So, of course, it's going to have a nice move in it. But you have a lot of people in this one. So let's go to the daily chart on this. And you can see for 3 days, there was some interest in it, and then nobody cared about it anymore. And now it's starting to move up a little bit because perhaps there's oil in the wells. Maybe there is, but you know, I've gone into this at length in a previous Stock Watch Sunday, so I'm not going to spend too much time on it. But the thing of it is that they've been trying to get oil out of these wells, these specific wells, for decades with nothing really to show for it. So maybe they have a little bit, but it's not going to be enough to amount to anything to really actually have the equipment and the drills even pay for themselves. So there might be oil in the wells, but I'm not convinced yet that it's going to be of any substantial amount, just because of what history has shown us with previous reports. And maybe we'll be shocked. You know, maybe it'll be like the freaking Beverly Hillbillies, and everybody's going to be moving to Beverly. But you know, I don't know. I don't see a move to Beverly Hills in MDMP's future anytime soon. I could be wrong, but, you know, we'll see. Alan, I appreciate the donation, man. Always supporting this channel. Thanks so much, man. I really appreciate it. I can't thank you enough. Thanks, man. I really appreciate it. And Blade Runner. GW Pharma exceeds expectations with 108 million preliminary audited revenue in fourth quarter. GW, is that the actual ticker? GW. Let's see. I don't see that. Is it the actual ticker? Miguel, we already talked about Tesla at length here. I'm not seeing GW. Is it GW GW Pharma? GWPH. Thank you. GWPH. And guys, just as a side note, if I don't get to them during this live stream, I would really encourage you guys to, if you're watching now or if you're watching later, please put tickers in the comments and do the same criteria. Give me reasons as to why you see value in it. It worked really well in previous Stock Watch Sundays now, where I can just at least go back and do some work and give you my opinion on it. So if you're interested, if you want to get my opinion on a particular stock that you're watching and something you might see value in, leave it in the comments. After this stream goes up, which will be probably about a half hour after I sign off, put it in the comments and I'll get back to you, within 24 hours usually. So if I don't get to it, obviously I can't be live all night, but I will promise you that I will get to your ticker, your favorite stock, if you leave it in the comments, and I can give you my opinion on it down there. So don't be offended if I don't get to it. There's just a lot to go over, obviously. But, if I get to it during live stream, great. If I don't, leave it in the comments, and I promise I will get to it for you. Okay? Okay, so GWPH, let's go and look at the chart here. So the chart, it's not really showing me a whole lot. I'm not crazy about any kind of particular pattern this has got here. The only thing I can tell you is that maybe if it goes up, we're working on previous highs here. I'm not crazy about the chart. Let's go to the daily chart and see what we got. The daily chart looks a little bit better. You can see that it bottomed out here down 96. Looks to be trying to make a run at 110. So 110 actually. So let's do this. I like this on the daily chart. We'll play it off of that. I like that resistance here. So you can see that it came down, got rejected at 110. So it's looking like it's trying to make another run at 110. So at 107.53 is what it closed at on Friday. And so look for a break above 110. If it breaks above 110, that'll be your sweet spot. And then again, if you can see how it came up to 119, after, that gap down to 119. If it breaks above 119, should make a nice gap fill on that one. So, at first glance, this wasn't one that I was crazy about, and I'm still not sold on it just yet. But if it has those strong catalysts here and it has the momentum to continue to move, maybe we'll see a nice move out of this. So from the chart, though, look for a break above 110. If it gets rejected here, then it may end up actually moving down further if it gets rejected at 110. So usually, when you see moves like this where it gets rejected at a resistance and then has a double top, and then gets rejected again, oftentimes you'll see a move back down, and it may even end up breaking 96. So just be on the lookout for that. Whether you're, I would say maybe even consider this a swing trade as long as you see the momentum continuing. But yeah, from an intraday perspective, I would be looking for that break over 110. Bob, man, you guys are killing it. You guys, I love you guys. You guys are amazing. So Bob donated. Thanks, Bob. Shout out to Shark 181. I know him as Bob. He's just forever going to be Bob. You might as well change your name to Bob. But thanks for the donation, man. I really appreciate the support. Thanks, buddy. Boss OG, that's a really good question. Why do you guys prefer pennies over options? And I think it just comes down to preference. If you somehow understand penny stocks more so than you understand options, then go with penny stocks. It really comes down to what you're comfortable with and what you just prefer. If you're making money trading pennies, why go anywhere else? Or if you're making money, trading options, why go to pennies? And options has its own risks too. The thing is with pennies is at least if you're trading a penny stock, the only money you're going to lose is the money that you put into it, where options, not always the case, right? So because if you happen to trade on margin like that, you can land yourself in a lot of hot water if you don't know what you're doing. So, I think it just comes down to preference overall. I get that question a lot, so that's why I'm addressing it now. But it really just comes down to preference, what your risk tolerances are, what your comfort level is, and really what it is that you're good at. I was good at penny stocks for a really long time, until I started to evolve and develop as a trader overall. And I still trade penny stocks. I'm currently in CTYX right now and a few others. But I just love the volatility that penny stocks provide. I love having to do a lot of that investigative work that requires. But options has always been a little bit of a foreign language to me, and I've dabbled in it here and there. But for me personally, I was like, if it's not broke, why fix it? I'm making money just fine. I'm happy with the way that I'm making money, and there hasn't been really much of a need for me to change that. So, hope that answer helps. Hope that makes sense to you. But that's why. All right, so a couple more here. KLRX is basing. Richard Tomlin says KLRX is basing, looks good for a long. KLRX, let me pull this up here while I'm letting you guys continue to chat. KLRX, let me pull it up on. Did I have a dyslexic moment? I think I might have, or maybe you did. Did you? KLRX. Yeah, I'm not pulling up KLRX or KRTX. Sorry. I had to read down a little bit further. KRTX. Sorry about that. KRTX. Let's pull that up. Now, this one is one that I traded. And I think this is one that actually Blade Runner brought to the table. KRTX. This is a fantastic runner. Yes, this is the one that I traded, made a bunch of money on back late fall, I want to say. Late, early fall. Had a really nice move in it. Went all the way up to, well up almost over $140 when it had its first run. But we need a catalyst. So this is the daily chart. This is when I traded this one first initially. Got in at like around $45 and ran that baby all the way up to $130 some. Got out, made a ton of money, was super happy with that trade. But now we come back down to this. This is on a 30-minute chart here. And, I'm seeing that where you're coming from here. I see that there's a nice little support here right around $69.50 or $70. We'll just call it $70 for, we'll just call it $70, whatever. And I see that perhaps it's kind of channeling out here from 70 to 73. But the thing of it is, I don't know if it's worth trading until there's actually some real catalyst. Sure, if it's something that you see long-term value in, you can make the argument that this is a nice little area to make, to consolidate or to accumulate a position if that's what you want to do. But for me personally, I'm probably just going to stay away from it until I see a catalyst on it that actually makes it worth trading. Because it's so volatile, because it is a pharma company, they have mounds of debt on this thing. When we looked at it already, I think they had an offering, if I'm not mistaken, on this first run. They had an offering announcement, and that's why it ran up. You'll see a lot of these pharma companies, they'll run the hell out of a stock, and then they come out that day, that exact day that they run it up, it'll come out with an offering, and then it just falls right back down on its face. So be careful with it. I'm not saying that don't trade it, but that would be just my approach. I'm probably not going to touch KRTX until I see something worth trading on it. Right now, I'm just not seeing it. Brett, I don't have dyslexia, but sometimes, I think it's really easy to just flip flop ticker symbols. I do it all the time. Oh no. Oh, okay. Sorry about that, Colton. I was just making a reference. No, I'm not offended at all. Hopefully I didn't offend you. I think we all have it. Yeah. Okay. So I'll do one more. Okay. Last one here is going to be Roku. Roku looks ready for a reversal, support resistance, 128, 140. I like it. I like it. See, this is what I'm looking for, guys. Veronice, I hope I pronounced that right. Says Roku looks ready for a reversal. Support resistance at 128 to 140. A desired entry stop loss 127 and 124.57. So let's pull that up. Roku, we'll pull that up here. Boom. Take a look. Roku has been one, I got to be honest with you. I'm not really good at trading Roku. I'll give you my opinion, and I'll tell you where I think it ends up landing. But Roku is such a wild and crazy animal, is it not? I mean, for me personally, every time I think that Roku's going one way, it ends up chewing me up and spitting me out most of the time. I've made some decent money on Roku, but I've also lost a lot on Roku as well, just because it's so unpredictable. But you can see here. Now, you said, let's pull up what your observation was. You had said that supports at 128, and I would tend to agree with that. That's perfect. Look at this. Great observation there. Okay. 128. By all accounts, this looks like it should bounce right off of that. But again, I go back to the fact that this is Roku, and we have no idea what Roku is going to do because it does whatever the hell it wants. You know, a lot of stocks that end up following the SPY or the S&P 500, you know, Roku just gives no Fs. They really don't care. But what I would look for, you said that 128 to 140 is desired entry stop loss. I would agree with that. I think 140, if we look at 140 here, that is true. I would agree with you there. So if you're looking for confirmation, there you have it. I would say that, yes, there is a support here at 128. There's a nice little resistance here at 140. I would say there's probably a resistance before 140. I would say that maybe 134 would be a resistance before it gets to 140 if I had to push back a little on that. But, yeah, that's my observation of Roku. But again, Roku has just been, I don't know, it's been all over the place. And for me personally, it's never been one that I've been super successful on. But if that's something that you like to trade, I know a lot of people that make a killing off of it because of the crazy volatility that it does have. But for me personally, trying to find a pattern with it and trying to make a plan and stick with that pattern, it usually ends up, like I said, chewing me up and spitting me out. But anyways, hey, there's Bob. He changed his name. Nice, Bob. Nice. All right. That's going to do it for me, guys. Let's give everybody a round of applause here, right? For being so brave and courageous as to share their opinions on whatever stock they wanted to see. So thanks to guys so much. Thanks to those of you who donated to the channel tonight. I really appreciate it. You guys don't understand how much it really does mean a lot to me that you support this channel and what it is that we're trying to accomplish over at WeTrade HQ. So I really appreciate everything that you guys do. The likes, the loves, all that support, definitely welcomed and encouraged. So if you can give me a thumbs up, if you got some value out of this. And again, like I said, if I didn't get to your ticker tonight and you're watching this at a later time, please leave comments down below and I will be happy to get to those as well. And again, like I said, within 24 hours, I should be able to respond to you in those comments. And that's going to do it for me, guys. So again, please like, subscribe if you have not been here before and you love Stock Watch Sunday and want to be a part of it next week and in the future. And I will see you guys on the flip side. More importantly, I will see you all before the bell. B Smith is out. See you guys. Have a good one.